Hey guys, what's up? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're healthy, you and your families. And welcome to the latest episode of my podcast. One of you might be a little bit surprised, and that would be Carmen, because she's listening to this as a voice message on Instagram. That's right. This podcast is a little special because it's a little different because it's just a recording of our chat basically. And Carmen, that's the fun part. She has no idea whatsoever that she's going to be a part of this. So I hope she'll say she's down for it. And yeah, it's going to be in English, most of it, because a couple of you have asked for it. A couple of you want it. So we're going to grant your wish. Hey, Carmen, are you down? Just a quick side note for those of you who don't know Carmen, she's also an online English teacher. She's half Czech, half English, but the fun part is that she specializes herself. That's what I wanted to say in British. Maybe I should say British English. So yeah, that's common. If you don't know her, you should follow her on her social if you don't do so already. And maybe, I don't know, maybe just listen to this podcast and try to give her a chance. All right? So yeah, Carmen, are you in or not? So Carmen just replied, but she did not use the voice feature. Carmen, how are the people listen? How are the people supposed to listen to the text? You gotta reply with a voice message, right?
Oh, okay. So hey guys, my name's Carmen, Carmen Yana Maria English, and yeah, nice to be on. Cheers for inviting me. And sorry for misunderstanding your instructions. Anyway, I hope you're great on this fine rainy day. And by the way, if none of you are following me yet, I am angličtina with Miss English on Instagram. Check my stuff out.
Cool, 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 cool. Cool. That's cool. Yeah. The topic I had in mind was some advanced phrases, some cool everyday phrases that you can use and, make the people go, whoa, his English is so freaking advanced. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's not about being smart, it's about looking smart and, others perceiving and viewing you as such. So, yeah, what do you think?
Advanced phrases. Well, if we're talking about British English and seeming smart, you kind of want to consider where you want to go, whether you want to go kind of informal and kind of smart in that way that you know that much, or whether you actually want to seem intelligent and sophisticated in your phrases. So I'm giving you the choice of two. Or in fact, we can give you some examples of both.
FYI, that means for your information, you guys, this noise, that's my beard. That's the mic of the headphones touching the beard. Just wanted to let you know. Let's do the proper English first. I mean, proper. By the way, getting off the script here. Oh, well, I don't actually have a script, but you know what I mean. We should do a pronunciation episode sometime because I still haven't really, how do you say that? I haven't gotten the hang of it. I don't know how to sound British, so you could teach me some other time.
Okay, so if we're going to talk properly, I would like to ask you whether you know the phrase if need be. And yeah, sure, I can teach you how to sound a little bit more British. Um, it's very much dependent on what part of Britain, but we can talk about that in another episode.
It sounds like a bougie way of saying if it's necessary. Like, what was it? If need be, I'll help you, right? To be fair, I've never really used it, and I don't think I've ever. Well, I might have heard it, but it's not very common, is it? Would you ever use it? And how would you use it in a sentence?
Yes, you completely understood the meaning of the phrase. However, I would have a tendency to bring it to the back of the sentence, so to the end of the sentence, meaning I can help you with your homework, comma, or full stop, if need be. Yes, I do use the phrase. I usually use it when I'm offering somebody help or if we're thinking about a plan B of a situation or a scenario.
Well, yeah, see, this is the difference between British and American English because this would just sound awkward and weird, right? It would sound way too snobby, way too pretentious, you know? So, would a person normally ever use it, really, in Britain?
Should I give you another example? Would that be useful?
Yeah, give me more.
So I think it's really important to consider social class because people speak differently from when they're coming from different social classes. So you would definitely hear this among the middle and the upper class, not so much from the lower class. This is something that really does need to be taken into consideration, and especially for Czechs who haven't necessarily lived in the UK, to be able to really distinguish that. And since you did ask me for the slightly more formal or well-spoken phrases, this will be apparent across all of these that I will suggest, so they will be heard of more among the middle and the upper class.
Okay, so check me out. I'll talk to him or I'll talk to his wife if need be.
If I say, the fact of the matter is, ... do you know what that means? Yes, that's exactly right. That's a great example.
Okay, I don't want to hate on your English, I don't want to hate on your people, but it feels like it's just a longer, a slightly more boring way to say the fact is. But it's all good. I mean it in a good way. Is it like essentially blah 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 blah? So like basically, an American would say basically I think it's a good idea, something like that. You use it at the beginning of a sentence. Am I right? Correct me if I'm wrong. The fact of the matter is I'm gay and there's nothing you can do about it. Something like that.
Yeah, no offense taken. I mean, it is basically a longer and more complicated way of saying the fact is blah, blah, blah. Wonderful. I love your examples, Kuba. I sounded very serious, and I did mean it seriously, but I do have a smile on my face, which wasn't very prevalent in the last message. Prevalent, that's a good one. Do you know what prevalent means?
Já si to slovo pamatuju díky tomu, že začíná stejnýma písmenkama jako můj český překlad. Ale nejsem si jistý, jestli můj český překlad je správný, ale myslím, že to znamená jako převažující. A podle toho si to krásně dá zapamatovat. A nebo můžeš mít i mnemotechnickou pomůcku, že převažuje všechny, že převaluje, jako prevalent, převaluje všechny ostatní, čili jako nejdominantnější převažující. Ale nevím, jestli to říkám správně. Jo, a jinak máš pravdu, že člověk zapomíná, tím, jak si tady posíláme ty hlasovky, tak člověk možná občas zapomíná, že jako to pak budou poslouchat další lidi a baví se úplně vážně, že jo, a zapomínáš se u toho smát. Ale jo, máš pravdu, asi bychom se měli víc smát. Ty máš takový geniální smích. Víš, můžeš ho udělat mě.
Krásný. Jo, tak jsem se ti tady hezky zasmála a já jsem se teda nebyla jistá, jestli tam chceš mít i tu češtinu, tak jsem se to snažila všechno nějak jakoby s tou angličtinou, ale myslím si, že tvoje mnemotechnická pomůcka je velmi dobrá, tak jen tak dál.
And also I think the noise in my phones, in the mic, might be mildly infuriating. That's a cool phrase. That's a cool, jak se řekne slovní spojení, collocation, right? Mildly infuriating. Myslím, že tenhle podcast bude trošku trapný.
Yeah, I didn't even notice the sound, to be honest, but mildly infuriating is definitely a great phrase. Mildly infuriating. It's kind of like a juxtaposition where infuriating is quite a strong word, but mildly is the opposite. And a juxtaposition is by putting two words of the opposite meaning right next to each other. Hele, ale Kubo, my jsme oba někdy docela trapný, takže já si myslím, že to je v pohodě.
Je to tak a není se za co stydět. Já bych jenom možná si teda přeložil to mildly infuriating. Infuriated, když řekneš o člověku, tak je to něco jako, že pobouřen, jo? Je tam to fury, je tam to rozčílení, jo, velký, takže infuriated, mluvit neumím, vole. Infuriated, rozčílen, jako do velký míry, no, prostě. No, Carmen mi tady píše ještě do chatu smajlíky, vážení přátelé. Ty smajlíky vy sice nevidíte, ale my se u toho asi velmi bavíme. Jsem zvědav, co z toho vznikne. Chtěl jsem ještě dodat, že ten podcast je zadarmo, nic za něj nechcem, doufám, že si z toho něco odnesete. A kdybyste chtěli nějak podpořit, tak Carmen učí přímo lekce, pokud se nemýlim, a mě můžete třeba online kurzem, kdyby se vám chtělo. Kdyby se vám nechtělo, vůbec nemusíte, můžete nás somrovat zadarmo až do konce života a nám to vůbec nevadí. My naopak budeme rádi, že, Carmen?
I'm also quite curious as to what will come out of this podcast. Yes, and I do teach, and I will be more than happy if you are able to learn something from me. And I do try to put out content that will be engaging or that will be helpful or interesting as from a native point of view. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Hey Kuba, how about this one? The verb, to fancy something. And so, for example, oh, I really fancy some cheese and crackers right now. Would you like some too? To je opravdu teatrální. Pomoc.
Oh yeah, another British thing, right? So in the US, when you say something is fancy, it's only used as an adjective, right? So for example, a fancy dress. A dress that costs a lot of money and, you know, looks good. I don't know how. Jako prostě takový nějaký fashionej, jo. Fancy car, for example. Asi nějaký takový jako pěkný, fashioný. Ale, but I know that in Britain it means to, and I think I vaguely remember that they used to teach us that you only use it with people. Like, I think Tim fancies Lisa, for example. But I don't know. I think it probably means like I'm in a mood for something. I'm in a mood for cheese and crackers. I've never had that though.
If you've never had cheese and crackers, then I am sorry, but this is such a matter, such a distressing matter that we must address sometime, Kuba. So we'll have to, make up for that sometime. Anyway, you said exactly what I was going to say later on, is the way that it's used in America and in comparison to how we use it in the UK. The example that you've just referred to from your teacher is one that is valid. So with people, so I don't know, Bob fancies Tamara, yeah, so he likes her, he would like to go out with her, he would like to be her partner. But to fancy something is also used. So it means like to want something, to kind of mít na něco chuť, nebo nemusí to být ani jakoby k jídlu, ale jakoby něco chtít, nebo něco vlastně toužit po něčem. Ach jo, tady ten instagramový jakoby audio message zpráva, prostě odsekávání po 1 minutě není úplně optimální, každopádně jsem si tady u toho lajkla svůj koment a bylo to nechtě, ale proč ne? By the way, do you like cheese? Have you had some really nice cheddar? Like the proper stuff? The stuff's so good when you bite into it, you feel the little crystals. Similar to Parmesan, you get the little salt crystals. Like really mature cheddar. We should get Marks and Spencer to sponsor us on a cheese and cracker tasting session. Because they do quite a good selection.
Man, I don't know. I don't think that we are, like Czech people, I don't think we're cheese people. You know what I mean? For us, cheese is something you put on your bread so that you get some, protein. So that it's not just, carbohydrates. But Ajdam 30 is what I know. item 30 is what I've grown up with, and item 30 is what I'm gonna die with. So, well, maybe we could try. I mean, I like goat cheese and I like mozzarella, but I don't know about these, hard. Would you say hard cheese, like tvrdý sír? How would you describe that? Anyway, we could try, but I'm more of a beer kind of guy. Když už je řeč o jídle.
All right. Yeah, I guess I would call it hard. I mean, hard cheeses tend to be slightly more mature, so I would tend to say more mature cheeses. But you definitely get softer and harder cheeses. There's no doubt. So you're the loyal Ajdam 30 kind of guy. Talking about cheesy. That's a very American word, isn't it? Talking about beer, do you drink IPA or do you literally just go lager?
Judging by the last question, I think you know what's up. So, lager all day long, but mainly because there's no other choice. Especially, when you're in Prague, it's a different story. But here in freaking Cerhenice, 1,000 people, if you buy a keg of an IPA, it's gonna zkazit. It's gonna go bad. Would you say that? Go bad? Prostě se to, ty vole, může vyhodit za 2 měsíce, protože to nikdo nebude chlastat, rozumíš? A jinak ještě se mě ještě ptá na slovo cheesy. Yeah, I specifically remember Adam Mishik using this word. I can totally see him. Yeah, it's very American and I like this word. Do you know what it means? I think you do, right? This word is very specific, by the way, because no teacher whatsoever, I mean, I don't want to say no teacher, but you know what I mean. The majority of the teachers don't even know the word because I would say it's quite recent in the prevalent usage.
I would probably use the synonym cringy or cringeworthy. Do you use those as a synonym to cheesy? And if something goes off, to bych použila jakoby význam nebo překlad pro to, když se něco jakoby zkazí. Ježiš, to jsem řekla strašně zdlouhavě. Prostě if something goes off, znamená to, že se něco zkazí. Takhle.
I think the main difference between cheesy and cringy is that cheesy is similar, but it's trying hard. You know what I mean? When you're trying to be either sentimental or funny, but it's superficial, unconvincing, and you're trying hard, I think that's the difference. At least I might be wrong, but
I'd be quite curious to know the origin of the word cheesy. Should we check it out?
I would say that cheesiness is when you're trying to create some kind of an effect, usually dramatic or humorous, and you're being inauthentic, you know what I mean?
I get that feeling with the word cringeworthy as well, so maybe they are quite tightly synonymous. Nevertheless, I am about to get into a nice hot bath because it's been a very long and slightly cold day. But I'm going to get back to this voice messaging, sending stuff tomorrow or sometime. I don't know how long you want these to be, but yeah, it's been my pleasure so far. Yeah, I would agree with that explanation of cheesy.
OK, ty si dej vanu, já si dám room. Jenom bych tomu ještě dodal teda, aby v tom byla ta value. Do češtiny bych cheesy přeložil jako laciný nebo ubohý. A cringe se už používá dneska i v češtině, jo. A může to být třeba v situaci, kdy ty chceš zbalit holku a řekneš něco, co ta holka už 1000krát slyšela. Jo, to je třeba cheesy jokes. Carmen, já ti nejvíc děkuju za účast na tom podcastu. Jsem zvědavej, co mi na to lidi řeknou. Prosím vás, řekněte mi, co si o tom myslíte. Protože mně to přijde jako docela fajn, jednou za čas zase změna, jiný koncept. Říkal jsem si, že by to byl hustý podcast. Psát celebritám a ten podcast by se jmenoval Hlasovky. A vyložení by to bylo celý jenom hlasový zprávy. Prostě vždycky 10minutová epizoda. A no nic, to jsou zase moje kreativní nápady. Každopádně dejte vědět, jak vás to bavilo, jak se vám to líbilo. Carmen, it was a pleasure. Měj se fajn a dobrou.
Ja, užij si rum, já si jdu hapsnout do žrbluňk vany.
Vážení přátelé, pro televizi Kubova English, Carmen Jana Maria English a Jakub Čáslava. Naschledanou.
Děkujeme moc. Thank you very much for listening. Ciao, ciao.